Welcome back to the Whatever's Biting podcast. And this is going to be an awesome episode because we got some big announcements. Things are happening on the channel that I've been putting off for a while. But first off, I'm John, and I have the YouTube channel Creek Fishing Adventures, and I'm joined with Ethan.
I'm Ethan, and I have the Fish Anything YouTube channel. And I'm excited to hear this news because I haven't heard it yet. So, looking forward to the secrets that John is holding back from all of us.
Well, you kind of know it. We're on Spotify. Woo! That's
Oh, okay, I do that.
not that big a deal. But
You
no,
told me that like 3 hours ago.
yeah. So not only can you find us on YouTube and probably on Facebook, if I make sure I get them on there, you can also find us now on Spotify. Now that's definitely, but I'm also trying to get connected to Amazon and a couple other things. I did that today, so I'm not completely done, but I do know it's already on Spotify. You can find all 6 of our first episodes. If you're listening to this or watching this, you're like, hey, I'm just going to go back and find it. Look up the Whatever's Biting podcast, and you can find it. I've already looked it up. It's on there. You can play it while you're driving down the road. We talk about, if you haven't heard anything about us or watched or heard any of our channel, we fish for anything, and I got some pretty cool stuff to talk about that I just got out of the river like an hour ago. Caught an awesome fish. Can't wait to talk about. Ethan's been doing some stuff. What you been doing?
Oh, I've been fishing a little bit here and there. I've traveled a couple times for work, and I think last time I talked about New York a little bit. But in this time, I have a Florida trip that I had taken. But then, other than that, I'm sneaking out and fishing when I can. Been kind of a crazy last month. I mean, I've been definitely fishing. It's just kind of random stuff. So I'm definitely going to unpack some of that in this episode. The other thing I must say is apologies for the fact that we're late on this podcast. Usually we come out earlier in the month, but life has been busy, and to be honest, I forgot when John texted me and he's like, "Hey, you ready to record?" And I was golfing, if I'm being completely honest with myself here.
Yeah.
So sorry about that. The delay is totally on me. So feel free to roast me in the comment section below. Yeah, I just had to make sure that that was out in the open and completely transparent to you, John.
So unprofessional. Yeah, it was.
I
It was
know.
like 4th of July weekend, and we were like all over the place. But we're doing this. I've committed to doing 12. That's what I said at the beginning. I'm like, all right, we're gonna do once a month. We're gonna do 12 at least and see how it goes. And of course, let us know. Now people can they can message us through Spotify. So
Ooh.
if you're watching or listening, somehow there's a way to message. So you can send in congrats. I don't know. And also you can
There's
leave reviews. I think people do stuff like that. I'm
You can
still
do
new to
that.
this
There's probably a
thing.
pretty good chance I'll never see any of it. But John, you have to look at it. It's another responsibility
I
for
know.
the
I got
primary
too many things.
host.
Yeah.
I'm the co-host. I have zero responsibilities here other than miss an episode from time to time. Just kidding. Hey, do we want to go straight to those comments? Speaking of comments.
Let's do that. Now, recap, of course, if you didn't hear last week, we had the AA anglers on, and that was our
Yes.
first time with guests. We are going to have some guests coming up, but if you haven't heard that one was an awesome episode. But let's see what people left in the comments after that episode.
Yeah, so as a quick little plug and quick little reminder, always feel free to drop a comment below on the YouTube or apparently potentially on Spotify. But let us know if you have specific questions or just subject ideas that you want us to ramble about a little bit. So these are the ones that I just picked out not too long ago. The first one, and this is quite honestly, I use this as a little bit of a T-ball to tee up an opportunity to kind of pitch the fact that we're not just on YouTube now. Philip Brannon asked, "Are you guys going to post these on a podcast app like Apple Podcasts?" The answer, my friend,
Yeah,
is yes. Spotify, and it seems like John's probably working on Apple Podcasts as well. So
yeah.
again, we just went over that. Next 2 questions. Here we go. These ones are more fun. Simper Catching 8767 asks, if you could fish anywhere in the world, anywhere, where would you go? John, what's your answer?
Somewhere I haven't been yet. Um, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the best places to go is because I haven't been to them all yet. If I had to just choose one, you could probably throw a dart on the world map, and I would be like, all right, I want to go see what's there. I'm just curious to go to the Amazon, like
Yeah.
as I am to I don't know, somewhere Ireland and just see what's there. There's probably more fish in the Amazon, but
I'm gonna go with Amazon over Ireland. No offense to all my
I'm
Irish friends
curious
out
about
there,
it. I
but
like, yeah, I don't want to spend a month there, but so I don't
yeah, I
know.
don't
It's always the
know.
next place. It's always the next, just somewhere else, somewhere I haven't been yet, so I can find something new.
I could just see you fishing a little creek running through the middle of someone's potato farm in Ireland and trying to catch some little
Yeah,
4-inch species.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm kind of going with the Amazon because like there's the most diversity, the most exotic location, crazy species variety in the water, but then just like crazy animals out of the water. But I think outside of that, because that's kind of like to me, I feel like that is like you cannot there's nothing else like that. I feel like that's like the number one answer for me. I feel like I'll answer a domestic answer as well. I would say I would really like to fish. I just really want to get to Florida and actually fish more of the canal type stuff. I literally was just in Florida, but I didn't get that chance. It was more pond hopping, but I really want to do that. So that's a lot more realistic. Probably something that I'll do some point in the next couple of years. John's obviously done it. Yeah, there's my answer.
that I could go back that so many times, and I want to get out there in a boat and like the little bitty canals and just yeah, there's so much to catch. Yeah, it's pretty wild down there. But South Florida is so different than North Florida. I'm going to. You were in Orlando area. I'm going. So
I
I'm going to
was
go
just
there next.
literally in Orlando area. Yeah.
I'm going there next week for ICAST. I'm supposed to
Yeah. Good
little
point.
teaser. If it works out, I may go shark fishing from the bank. So my buddy,
You get
down
to
there
do a
does
lot
it.
of cool stuff, man.
Yeah, all the fun
That'll
stuff.
be cool. You got to make sure that happens.
Yeah, I'm gonna. It's supposed to be at night. I'm gonna try to film it and everything if it works out. But
All
yeah.
right. Well, I look forward to hearing
Also,
more on that. That is not.
I'll,
Oh, go
also I'm
ahead.
supposed to kayak where there are monkeys in Florida. I don't know for sure if we're going down
There's
that river.
m-
There's monkeys in
there's
Florida.
monkeys.
Yeah, I didn't know that
There's
either.
everything in Florida, dude. I
There's an area
swear.
where there's
What are
like
people doing?
yeah, and
There
you can
is
like kayak
literally
the river.
every animal.
I need to buy a better camera just to take it if I were like zooming in, but hopefully that works out. But you never know. I
Oh
got all
my
kinds of
gosh,
trips
that
for
would be
always
wild.
potentially.
What a weird state, man. We
Yeah.
just it's all full of just like invasive species now. And I feel like the conservationist in me is like, what? I don't think I should want to fish that because it's like this is destroying the native populations probably. But then like the curious person in me is like, I really want to catch those fish. So what a weird state, a weirdly cool state. Okay, next question. We got my man Brian and Athern 9154. Probably said your last name wrong. Brian Athern. I don't know. Sorry, buddy. You'll have to let me know. Next question is the zombie apocalypse causes society to crash and you have to fish for food. What species will you target and why? Can I go
Oh,
first?
yeah. Go ahead.
I'm fishing for whatever bites and I'm eating whatever bites. That's my answer. I'm not going to be like, you know what sounds good? I want a
Yeah.
crappie right now. I mean, sure, I would like a crappie, but if I'm in that situation, man, I just want food.
You're like turning
What
down.
about you?
You're turning down this fish. Nah, no, I don't want that. I want a crappie. I don't want that bluegill.
Bro, I'd be eating
Uh,
carp. I'd be eating like whatever, dude.
I'd probably try spear fishing for like bigger fish. But
Wow.
I don't know. What would I mean, I can panfish are pretty readily. You have to get a bunch to make a big meal. But yeah, little putting on the burrow bug and we're just walking.
Hey,
I
I
was thinking
like
of,
that.
I got a video that came out just recently where I killed they were crushing the burrow bug. I was catching all kinds of stuff on it. But I was thinking
That's
about that.
awesome.
How long would it take for all our creeks to be just gone of fish if we didn't have like food to go after?
Dude, I feel like I don't know. Zombie apocalypse. I don't really want to think about that, to be honest. Like zombie apocalypse, like there's a
Yeah.
lot of other things going on, you know? Like is the water contaminated with
Uh,
zombie juice, zombie blood and zombie whatever the heck's going on there? There's probably zombies in the water.
mm,
I don't think I would, every guy probably thinks, wow, I'm a tough guy. I'd last a long time. I don't know. I don't know if I'm that tough. I don't
I'm a
know if I'm
picky
that
eater,
tough. I'm
so
not. I don't feel like I would last that long. I wish I
yeah,
could say I could, but probably wouldn't. Probably be like very mediocre at that whole game.
mediocre survival. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be a weird one. Um, well, let's get
But it was
into
an interesting question. So thank you for
yeah.
the questions, everybody.
Hey, be that's kind of questions we look for. Creative. We want creativeness around here. Hey, feel free
Yeah,
to
we
leave
want
a
weird. Get weird with it.
feel free to leave a question or comment for our next one, and we'll answer them on episode 8. Well, we'll pick 3, and it'll be at the first of the month. We try to do one episode a month. It's usually the first of the month when we. This one is a little delayed, but
Sorry.
let's get into kind of what's been going on recently because I got a lot that's been happening, and I can talk all day about what I did just a little while ago, probably. And I'll just go right into my last fish, and that'll kind of start
Do it.
into what I did today, which will lead. I guess I'll go ahead and lead into also my well, I forgot what's the word called. My show and tell. My show and tell today. So,
Ooh.
my last fish I caught today was about 2 hours ago, and I waded a river that's it's a creek right now because the water's so low. It's very dry. We haven't had rain. All of our rivers have been really low. Um, so I thought it was going to be really tough fishing. Ended up being really good fishing. I think it was a 6-inch Coosa bass. That was the last one I
Hmm.
landed. But earlier,
Hmm.
I caught a 20-plus-inch spotted bass out of about 2.5, 3 foot of water. It was. I started out. So here recently, I just bought these. Have you ever fished with these little Super Fluke Juniors?
I've never been a huge fluke person, so I probably have, but I probably not
Yeah.
for very long.
So I've gone down this transformation of fluke stuff. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see, but if not, I'm holding up a little like it's like a 3.5, 4 inch Super Fluke Junior. But
Hmm.
I've been fishing a lot with the Yum Breaking Bass. It's their fluke style lure. Also, I used the Walmart brand. No, it was it's some other brand fluke style lure. I've been using a bunch of recently, and this is how I got started using it. I like never used them. I never really knew like when or what the right situation was. So 3 weeks ago, I'm wading a creek, super clear water. It's a smallmouth creek in Middle Tennessee, and I go through the Helgermite. I use the Helgermite like crazy. Most people know that. And I was catching fish. We were seeing bass that weren't committing. They weren't biting it. And I was like, well, they're just, you're probably not gonna be able to get those to bite unless you use, live crawfish or something. So we walk up the creek about 3 miles. On the way up, I switched to a breaking bass. It's more like the regular fluke is white and it's 5 inch. I'm like, I'm gonna try this. I just want to see what happens. Immediately, like second cast, I catch a fish. 2 minutes later, I catch another fish, and then I end up catching like a 16-incher that just exploded on it like a topwater hit.
Hmm.
I'm just throwing them out, twitching as fast as I can, twitch, 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 twitch.
Hmm.
And the reaction from the bass was like mind blowing. It was like whenever you do
Wow.
something, you're like fishing, they're not doing nothing. You throw something in there, and just they are keyed up on it. They would get up under it so fast, and then they would like blow it up like how they whenever they attack school and bait fish. So I end up catching twice as many fish coming back as I did going up the creek,
Wow.
switching from a Helgermite to a fluke style lure, twitching it really fast, and ended up catching a 16 and a 17-inch smallie. And a couple of them came out of cover. A couple of them I saw, and we'd already casted at, couldn't get the bite, cast a fluke at them, and they hit it.
What hook do
So
you use? Are you using this weightless or do you have a weighted hook?
yes, I'm using this weightless, and I'm basically skipping it across the top of the water. It's just like
Wow.
I'm
See,
just
I
trying
need to
to
try that.
get a
I need
it.
to try that.
So yeah, so my story comes full circle. But I was going to show you this hook. This is the hook I bought for these little ones, and you barely will be able to see it probably on screen. It's just
Yeah, I see it.
it's a
Is it a one aught?
VMC wide gap. The brand I'm not really don't
No,
really care,
two
but
aught.
I like it's a 2-aught, which is really small, and this thing is like needle thin, very very thin. I like a thin wire hook. This is
Yeah,
how I fish yum dingers, and I'm throwing it on a medium spinning rod. I want a very thin wire hook to get a good hook set. It's not going to bend out because I'm playing it in on a medium setup, so I'm not yanking it. If you throw this on something heavy, you're going to bend it out. But so a thin
sure.
wire hook, skipping it really fast across the top of the water, and I had so many blow ups. So I've done this 2 or 3 times since. It's worked really well. I go out today. I get there, the water's low. I'm like, I think that fluke's going to work. First 30, 40 minutes, I fish with it. I get 1 or 2 little hits. Nothing comes out. I'm like, I think I should have caught something by now. You know, I haven't fished here in a while, but you fish areas, you're like, there should be some fish in some of these holes. I throw in this little deep hole. I'm wading upstream. I come up behind a deep hole. It's not deep. It's 3 foot deep. It's not even a deep hole. 3 foot deep. There's a log and there's current. There's current coming down. There's a log across. There's shade. You know, perfect situation where you know
Hmm.
fish live in. I'm like, okay, there'll be something in there. I skip up in there, twitch, 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 twitch. And just coming out of the shade, this big bass comes out of the shade into the sun and then goes back in. I just get a glimpse of
Ooh.
it. I'm like, oh, I knew it was a giant. I'm like, that is a big. I'm standing 20 feet from it. You know, I'm and the water's clear. Once it goes back up in the shade, I can't see it. It's dark in there. I throw in there, throw in there, throw in there, throw in there. I'm like, man, maybe this fish won't bite. I'm like, well, before I leave, let me switch. I grab a 4-inch yum dinger. That's a morning dawn color. Same hook. I throw it up in there. Dun, dun, boom, he's on.
Hmm.
Catch a 5-pound spotted bass. Is probably close to 21 inches long. A giant. I've caught
Yeah.
2 this size out of this creek, and one was 2 years ago, or this river. One was 2 years ago. Like this is a monster. I just watched the video of it, me catching it before I off my GoPro. There's another one with it, a pair, and it was at least an inch
Oh,
bigger. I'm
why
standing
wasn't
10
I
feet
with
away.
you?
Uh,
If
dude,
only I could have been
this is
there
like,
because then I could have hooked the other one.
yeah, this is. I'm going to title this like historic. Like this is the fish of a lifetime, and I caught it 45 minutes into wading, standing in the creek fighting it, and this is probably one of the most like the biggest fish I've ever caught wading, probably.
I mean, it's a
Like
tank.
standing in the
The
water.
picture, the picture you
Like I
sent
didn't
me
have a
is
scale, I didn't have the length, but I've caught enough fish, and I kind of got a guesstimate on the length and stuff. That yeah, it was crazy. So, but what's funny is like I thought for sure the fluke was going to work. This time it was like the opposite. It was something slow just falling into there.
it goes to
So
show you gotta be willing to experiment when you're on the water. But I tell you what, I get
yeah,
stubborn. I get stubborn. How many times have I probably missed opportunities because I'm stubborn? Probably 1,000, you know?
yeah,
So
I'm the same way.
good for you. Good for you for making that one last attempt. And it worked, you know,
Oh,
it
then
paid
I got
off.
one to catch a 16-inch, like 2 or 3 15-inchers,
And a 6 incher, it sounds like.
all on the yum. Like I had like an awesome day and 3 hours of fishing. So
Awesome.
man, it's funny. It's funny, and that's where so in this video, I'm gonna try to leave like all my talking myself through what I'm doing, and then why I'm changing, and then what I see. And a lot of it was visual. Like if I hadn't saw that bass come out,
Hmm.
I'm never switching. I'm still throwing, and I'm just gonna move on up.
Yeah, just
But just
move
because you
water.
saw
Yep.
something, like all right, let's make a change. Let's try to figure something out. But yeah, really cool. Ethan, what's tell
How do
your
I
fish.
follow that up? You just have to do that to me every
Yeah,
single time. I had a really cool experience and I
yeah.
caught a huge fish. And then I'm like, yeah, I just kind of like caught a couple dinks, you know.
Well, most people don't. If you don't
Honestly,
know, I fish. I only do YouTube, and so I fish all the time. Ethan still works a real job, so he doesn't have near as much time to go out.
I've been having fun though. You know, I am happy with my life. I'm happy with my balance. I do get a little
Yeah.
jealous when you explain these cool experiences that you're having, but you know what? I get past it. Um I my last fishing trip was I had a brief paddleboard session on Saturday, I think it was. Maybe Sunday, I don't remember. Well, this last weekend. Um and so a couple things before I get into the last fish that I caught, I did get a new paddleboard. So This is news. Video is not out with that yet, so probably won't be by the time this posts, but it's coming soon. So last year when I got my first paddleboard, it was from a company named Glide. That's the paddleboard company. So glidesup.com. They had sent me a paddleboard for free, and I was like, this is cool. I'll try it out. I had never paddleboard fished before. It turns out that I kind of like it. I think for like serious fishing trips, I would prefer something a little bit bigger, like a kayak. So I do prefer like a pedal drive kayak, I would say, for like longer fishing trips. But the paddleboard can be a lot of fun. It's very portable, very lightweight, and it's just a nice way to get on the water. So fast forward to this year, and Glide actually launched a newer version of their paddleboard series, and they've got two fishing options. And quite honestly, big improvements. The first board that I had last year was totally fine, but it was a little more bare bones. They're starting to get a little bit more advanced in their fishing rigging, and this thing's really, really cool. So stay tuned for more paddleboard videos, because I think this thing's really, really neat, and I look forward to kind of showcasing it. That being said, my fishing trip was very simple. I went out there and I figured I'm just literally going to do some ultralight fishing. Didn't really have like an actual agenda. Mostly just wanted to get out, try some things. And I wanted to make a video using Power Pro braid, because people oftentimes are curious about some of the different braids that I use. And I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about Power Pro. Spoiler alert, it's okay. There's better braids out there. But at the end of the day, I was like, this is how I kind of ended my trip. I had caught a lot of fish, caught a lot of bass, caught some bluegill, caught some crappie. So I was catching some multi-species just as I expected. But the wind was starting to pick up, and I was like, all right, I'm going to kind of go in. Rather than paddle it in, I was just like, let's lazily drift in, because the wind just kind of blew me towards the ramp. And as I'm doing that, I'm like, why not? I'm going to be zinging it out there. So I grabbed my longer ultralight, 7'6", and I was just casting my jig way out there and just letting it drift, and just kind of keeping my rod tip high and just maintaining like a taut line, just seeing like what would potentially eat. And I wasn't like specifically fishing any targets. I was just kind of drifting it over grass and stuff like that. I ended up catching like back to back to back fish. I think I caught a crappie, a bluegill, and a bass doing this, and it happened like in the last couple of minutes of my day. And I'm just like, man, maybe I should have just not even tried, just literally drift around and just fish over weeds, because it was honestly really cool. Like, it was really cool. Just kind of sitting there with my feet in the water and just catching fish. And it was a really nice way to do it. So that was the last fish I caught. I think it was probably a bass, if I remember correctly, but one of those species, and just kind of an unconventional way of catching them. Yeah. Other than that, yeah, definitely been doing a lot of paddleboard fishing because of the time thing. It's just been kind of a convenient way to get on the water. But I do have another update. I actually also got a new kayak, which I have a video coming out on probably in the next couple weeks as well. So a lot of things are happening. New fishing vessels, my friends. A lot of experimenting to do. So stay tuned. There's not a whole lot of crazy updates just yet, but they'll be coming out in the videos.
Do you have so on your paddleboard? Because I have one and I've used it like once. Is yours inflatable?
Yes, it's inflatable, and I really like that. It's just so lightweight. You could stow it easy, and they're very comfortable. If they're filled up to the proper like PSI or whatever, they're very comfy.
Yeah, it's more solid than I thought. So do you air it
They're
up
firm.
at the ramp? I mean, at the water, or do you do it before you like at the house?
I leave mine aired up. I air it up
Oh,
at the beginning of whenever I'm ready to use it, and then I just leave it aired up, and I'll car top it just
I
like I
didn't
would a
think about
kayak.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just strap it to my roof rack. It's totally fine. I would say probably be a little mindful of it going down the road, because it's totally solid, but it more just makes some noise. So it makes me a little like, I don't want to go like 100, So I try to keep it pretty careful when I'm driving with it, but it's been totally fine.
Have you had to add air to it like afterwards, like to refill it up? Does it leak
No,
anything? It's like pretty solid.
no, it's been like surprisingly great. Like, they don't, all those things that you think would be a problem, that there really have not been a problem at this point. The other thing I should say about this new paddleboard is it technically has pedal drive. I have not rigged that up yet. So That's going to be interesting. Pedal drive with a rudder that's attachable on a fishing stand-up paddleboard. Like, I'm telling you, this thing's really, really neat. I don't
Yeah.
have first impressions yet because I have not rigged up the pedal drive, and that's solely because I have just not had the time to get it all configured yet. But um, when we kind of talk about what we want to do between now and the next podcast, yeah, I'll be talking about that. So
Have, have you talked to me about the attachment that you put on it that you made a video on?
yeah, so that I actually put that one on my old paddle board, but I can do it on this new one too, and that's
Oh, okay.
the electric fin that I was sent. Yeah, I'm just kind of talking about a lot of stuff that I've gotten from companies here, but I usually don't have that much stuff that people give me, but in this case, a lot of things have happened really fast. But Boost Surfing, it's a product that I saw last year, so I had reached out to them at one point, and they had ended up sending me what it is it's an electric fin. So like on the bottom of a paddleboard, you have just a fin,
Yeah.
and you know,
Does like slide
this
in,
is
like where
just
a
an
pin would slide in? Because that's what mine does. That's a
yeah,
pin that slides in.
yeah. So instead
Oh,
of putting the plastic fin on there, you have this electric thing that you charge, and it has a little propeller on the back of it, and it literally you can just zoom around. Like it is honestly, at first, I'm like, I don't really know how this would, I don't know if this is actually like something you would use, but I use it and I'm like, oh man, this is actually super cool. Like this is like on a calm day. Again, pros and cons of paddleboard fishing. I'm not going to tell you it's as versatile as like a pedal drive kayak, right? But on like a calm day, you just want to get on the water and fish. You want to move a little bit more water. You don't want to necessarily paddle a long, long distance. You just want to paddle around while you're fishing. This product's super cool because you basically just have a little attachment on your wrist, click a button, it turns on, propeller goes, you zoom forward. You can steer yourself by just simply paddling or kind of like putting the paddle in the water and kind of redirecting. You can do either a short boost where it's like 15 seconds, or you can hit it and it just stays on like a lower setting and it'll go as long as you until you turn it off. And it has 30 minutes of life. They technically do have one that's a 2 hours of life, which would be probably as much as you would ever need. I told them from the start that would have made more sense. Unfortunately, they sent me like the standard. The 2 hour, like the long, that one I think would actually be really, really great. But the concept's cool. So, anyways, I have a video on that if you want to look at it. It's a Boost electric fin for stand-up paddle boards and surfboards. It's a really, really weird concept. I don't think they primarily market it towards fishermen, but it is really
yeah.
cool for fishing. If you happen to fish off of a paddleboard, it's a kind of a neat thing to have, I would say.
Well, like on big rivers, like by me, like the Tennessee River, some people they have like paddleboard excursions and stuff, and I'm like, if you had to
Mm.
cross the river, it would be so nice just like, all right, let's just turn this on and go over there to meet up with everybody or something like that. Like,
Oh
but
yeah.
I feel bad sometimes talking about all the stuff I get, but the new stuff that comes out is what people want to know, and every time somebody else gets something, I'm just interested in it too. So I
Yeah.
I finally got my RVR Newport 180 Pro motor on my RVR, and I fished out of it twice now, and I'm still just trying to get adjusted to it, and I'm going to be fishing the Susquehanna River in 2 weeks. I'm going to try to do that same tournament that I did last year, the Bassmaster tournament. I went up last year with just the Crescent Shoaly, and it was awesome, but it wore me out. And then
Hmm.
so this year I'm going up with a motor. I'm really curious to see how different does it help me. Last year I was 36 out of like 200 people without a motor or anything. So I'm like, I really think I can get like top 20 and maybe top
Hmm.
10. I'm like, come on. I like for me, I'm cause you know how you are. Like, I'm a river person. I know this. I can figure this out. I should be able to dial it in. But I'm really curious to see how I do in a 2 day tournament fishing out of it with a motor. But it's 1.8 horsepower. That it'll move that kayak like 7 miles an hour. Six, maybe not seven, but six,
Jeez. Jeez.
over 6 miles an
Fast.
hour. I've checked it. It's like you kick it in and it moves you. It's variable speed throttle. I got to move the throttle from my right side to the left because I'll have it on the right and I'll catch a fish, and it's hard to reach over and turn it off while you have it on. So a lot of people have been asking about it, and I've only made like one video so far. So I plan to do some more videos, really testing it out, and then I'll do a video like really what my thoughts are, and after I've really used it a few times. But here
Yeah.
recently, actually this week, this has got me thinking, and that little fin thing has got me thinking too. But so I took a 30 pound thrust trolling motor, standard $100 one, whatever it is. They're $120 I think at Walmart. Minn Kota trolling motor, with regular handle throttle. The Sholey already has like the whole like the inserts for for drilling out it's a 4-bolt system, and Newport actually makes a bracket that you can put a trolling motor on, like the trolling motor bracket. And so I put that on the back of the Sholey, and I had a 100 amp hour Power S sent me a lithium battery. So lithium battery, 30 pound thrust. Both those together is probably like 50 pounds. It's like not that much weight. I put it on, and I ran all over the lake. Was it yesterday? No, day before. And then I went up in a little creek channel, and I have it on a stick throttle, so I'm reaching behind me to kind of turn the steering. But if you put that straight and put it on level 1, you can just go forward and fish. And I was like you were saying about the paddleboard, I was just adjusting my paddle to steer. And that whole setup, that's $120 with a battery and a mount compared to $1,000 motor, and all the systems. So I'm like, it's got me thinking of all the different things that you can do on kayaks.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. The more,
Crazy.
I feel like for me, I don't want to get too crazy. I don't want to go like too advanced. I don't personally want something that's like hundreds of pounds or like too much rigging, right? I like simplified, and that's kind of why I actually do kind of enjoy the paddleboard thing. Is like it is very simple in the grand scheme of things, not as comfortable though. So I'm trying to find that balance. Like as I kind of play around with some of these things that I've been fishing off of, it's like what is the right balance? I like a kayak with pedal drive, but I don't want something so big that takes a lot of time to rig and get prepared and get on and off the water. I want something a little bit more throw and go. And that was kind of my idea with kind of my upcoming video on the new kayak that I got. But I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about some of my findings along the way. And we were talking about it before the podcast started, but it's like, I think the answer might just be, I got to find a kayak that is comfortable, stable, and has the storage and whatnot, but lighter weight, but then super important, has good quality pedal drive equipment. And that's a huge deal for me. And so I think I know kind of where I want to go in the future. But I do think that there's a big industry opportunity for the kayak fishing market in getting more like lighter weight boats that have a decent pedal drive system on them. And I don't know that that's out there too much as it stands today. A lot of the boats being made, I feel like, are being made for like these kind of like more tournament anglers that just really want like big storage, big stability,
storage capacity.
They want to throw a motor on it. They want 500 pounds of capacity. It's like, I don't think there's a lot of people I just don't think need or want that, but they do want good pedals. They want something where they can be hands free. And I hope that we can get some innovation that route. Maybe you'll find it at ICAST. And if you do, get the company to send me one because that's what I'm looking for. So I don't know why that's such a hard ask.
Yeah. I was at Academy, and the Academy has a pedal drive kayak for like $1,800. Like, I don't know what the quality is, but I don't know.
It's an Academy. Like, is it like their brand? Is it like their store brand?
No, I don't know what the brand was.
Was it Pelican?
I actually don't remember. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know Pelican makes one, but it's like a 2-piece kayak, and it is lighter. But I don't want a 2-piece kayak. You know how they have like the molded.
It may have been a Magellan. I know they have their own kayak.
Really?
I know they have a. I saw one the other day, a fishing kayak for like $700 or $800. But I mean, usually I haven't. It's almost always true. If you want, the cheaper you go, it's just you're giving up something.
Yeah,
And that's where
100%.
me and you both love the Old Town for price and what you get. It's just solid. Like a lot of things about it.
Yeah.
But
Yep. A lot of
anyhow,
exciting
I've
things
been
to talk about, though. It's always fun talking about this with you because you've experimented with so much. And then last episode, for those of you that haven't listened to it, if you want to learn more about this subject, we certainly talked about it in last episode too. So feel free to go give that one a listen. But we are rambling a little bit about kayaks here. What else you got for me, John, Mr. Host?
not a lot. um, so coming up, I am going to ICAST. I'm gonna. There's I guess I can say it because Rebel is coming out with a whole new lineup of lures, small creek style lures.
Yeah,
I don't know if they'll be out.
nice.
They're coming out. They're showcasing them at ICAST, so that'll be by the time this comes out, it'll be that. And they're pretty cool. I've already seen a lot of them, and I think people are gonna be excited, especially multi-species people, and people that are
Are,
Rebel fans. Do it,
can I ask questions?
yeah.
Do you feel like they're going to be more easily castable than some of their old school stuff?
Basically, they're coming out with a soft plastic lineup of their critters.
Uh, uh, Interesting.
So a lot of it's a similar size, but it's like you got the hard plastic crick hopper. They got
Uh,
a soft plastic cricket style lure. Um,
that's cool.
little crawdads, little bug, little things. A lot of stuff that for small bass and stuff like that would be really really fun. I think. And I know there's a lot of, and I love Rebel. Like I love their lineup, and I love like what they do. They're also coming out with like several new colors of the crick hopper. So I'm really excited about that. I can't wait to get the new crick hopper colors. I love the crick
Yeah,
hopper.
I think it'd be cool to see them try to make like higher, like maybe not like higher end because they're all about value oriented stuff, right? But like, how do you take like a crick hopper and give it like a little weight transfer system or something and make it
Oh yeah,
cast farther? Like, because they are kind of hard to cast, right? Like
yeah.
even if you are using light line and the proper equipment, like if you get in the wind, you're kind of toast.
Little,
And like the question would be is like, how do you make that carry a little bit more, have a little bit more oomph behind it without adding too much weight? And that would
I
be
thought
like,
the same thing. You know the little
Mhm.
like when you're fly fishing, the little poppers for fly
Yeah,
fishing. I'm like,
yeah,
I, can I get that on a spinning setup, but I can be able to cast it and just
yeah.
pop it for different stuff.
I feel like you got to
Uh,
take like a lot of like the bass fish, more like advanced bass fishing gear, and then just micro it, right? Like jerk baits these days, like all have weight transfer, right? It's like basically just a BB that rolls to the back, and it allows it to like a bullet just shoot
yeah,
out there. And it's like you don't have to technically add too much weight in order to do that same system. I'd be curious if we see more of that in the future, but definitely cool. I mean, it's kind of funny from my perspective just how much like the micro and ultralight game is exploding because it's just like, part of the reason Mule was made was because of the fact that I didn't really feel like a lot of people were going after the space, and it was just there wasn't a lot of offerings. And now it's like, talk about like a proof of concept, right? I
yeah,
feel quite pleased with like how things are changing in the industry because it does seem like people are starting to listen a little bit more to anglers and starting to
yeah.
pick up on that. And yeah, it's a little bit a self. It's
Gratifying.
it assures me that I've had some decent ideas along the way as well. So that's kind of fun.
Yeah, yeah. There's no lack right now of companies putting out, what I don't know what you call it, multi-species style lures and just small lures with Z-Man, their whole lineup of hooks that they have now. Rebel is leaning into it hard. Lots of little companies, up and coming. I keep finding all the time. But Mule Fishing's out there going strong. If you need your stuff, you got to go there. But
Lots of good options out there.
I feel like, and I think about this because and the same thing with my channel. So when I started my channel, I didn't see anybody making like creek fishing content regularly. I'll look at now and I'm like, there's so many channels, and I'm like, people are coming for me. I'm like, no, that's a good thing. I don't like it.
It
Doesn't
is a
affect
good thing.
me.
It is a good thing.
And same thing with lures. There's so many people out there, and I mean, yeah, if there's 10 more lure companies, is that going to affect you? Maybe not. But
Probably helps me if I'm being honest. Like
yeah,
It is what it. I don't. I'm not gonna sit here and be all like, "Oh, dadgummit, they're
Yeah,
coming after." No, I don't. I don't care. Like it's a good thing for the industry to have options available for more anglers, and it's a good thing for me to have more people getting. This is more exposure into this world, right? Like, so all I have to do is continue to make stuff that's really quality and innovative. That's all I'm always going to focus. It's innovative and help people catch fish. And if there's more companies doing that as well, that's a good thing for anglers. So that's what it's all about. Mule is made to help people catch fish, and I think it'll keep doing that. Unfortunately, there's other companies that are doing the same thing. So lots of fish to be caught, man. But if a zombie apocalypse happens, I tell you what, we might all
you
be
better have
fishing for
your
the
Mule
same
fishing
fish.
supply.
I tell you what, you got to have something out there because we're all going to be fishing for the same fish. Zombies are going to come gunning for us, man.
Some people ask me about like my channel and like about more people going to creeks and same kind of situation. I'm like, man, there may be more people fishing where usually there wouldn't be people fishing, but at the same time, it just pushes me to go find other places. So I'm like, I
Yeah,
and
you
I don't know. So that's part of it, changing, learning. Like I like
got to
the
got
fish
to
I
keep
caught.
a positive. Got to keep a positive attitude about it. It's like you make these videos, like there's a lot of questions, like why do you make the videos? Well, it's like you love this, like you love doing it. You want other people to experience it. So like it should be like exciting to see that other people are starting to experience it more. And then there is kind of like a potential, like it's not necessarily a negative, but it's real and it's there is, well, now all of a sudden some of these places I've showcased are getting more pressure, which makes them less of a gym, right? And it's
Yeah,
a harsh reality of social media. And this is more than just fishing. This is what we've done. Like this is the world we live in now. It's like travel influencers are going out there and showing places that are exotic and really cool. And here's exactly how you book this trip. And it's like really inexpensive to go here. And then what happens? These places get blown up with tourism. And it's like so much to the point where like the locals don't like it, and it's kind of this weird world we live in, man. I don't know. A subject I could talk about for hours, but probably not necessary for our podcast.
I go do my place. So in my
You broke up for me, but hopefully that comes through on the show.
yeah, it's a little blurry. Hopefully the audio comes through. It's audio that's important, and a lot of times I'll go back and look through it. So also coming up, I'm going to be going right now. I'm going to go up to the Susquehanna River and fish again in Pennsylvania and target those big smallmouth. And I still have not caught a 5-pound smallmouth. So I think this is a really good chance. I'm really going to be geared in. It could be totally different though. Like last year, the water was flowing really good, and it was towards the fall. This is more summer. I don't know what the water could be low. Could be the area I fish might not even be the same. So, but I am really excited to go up there and give it another chance to do that. Also, I'm thinking about doing a trip to Minnesota. No, Wisconsin. Drew Greger's got a kayak tournament in Wisconsin, and I'm trying to make myself do these trips and like, all right, just go to these things, schedule them out, and just go do them. Sometimes it gets easy for me to just sit around and just go to all my local stuff and or hop around, but I'm trying to push myself to do bigger trips, bigger things, and maybe might have to get another Michigan trip in. You
Hey, if you
know,
go to Wisconsin and if you happen to get a chance to cut through the southern part of Michigan, I mean, you already know I would love to fish with you, but I do still owe you a trip to your neck of the woods too, and I hope that we can make that happen someday. I think we can. I just can't tell you when that'll be. So I'm
yeah.
happy to hear that you're doing some cool traveling and getting out and continuing to adventure. And I look forward to being jealous and listen to all your cool experiences in a future episode. As for me, we have a family trip planned for a little bit further north in Michigan later this month, and I will be. I plan to bring my paddle board because I don't think I'll have space for all the kayak gear among all of the other things in our car. Because those pedal drive and the paddles and all the fishing gear take up a lot of space in a car, and I just don't. with the kids, and I don't know if we'll have space for everything. So the paddleboard I should be able to swing. So all that being said, my goal is to get some solid time on the water throughout that week and probably make some kind of like mini series is the idea,
Hmm.
because I should get a lot of fishing time because we're really just having a very low key like family vacation up north. And so I should get a lot of time to kind of, you know, get out there and hopefully catch, I don't know what we'll catch, right? Probably some smallmouth, probably some rock bass. But I would be curious to see if we can find some other species as well. It's going to be deeper water fishing. So not really sure. Probably bring some ultralight gear, maybe bring some bass gear. We'll see what happens.
That reminds me. So last episode, you couldn't tell us what your that new life species.
Oh
What's it
yeah.
called? Life
I
species.
was
Let's
trying to
let's
be
end this off talking about a couple fish you've caught, and that people can
yeah.
go watch the videos on it. But it's
Yeah, so
a new species you got.
so in the last episode I was all like, I don't want to give away the spoiler because I was kind of making my title all around like I caught a bucket list fish and I wanted it to be a little bit of a spoiler, or no spoilers. I wanted a teaser there. Um I caught a redfin pickerel when I was in New York, which is, a lot of people hear that and they think, I don't even know what that is, or they think, who cares?
Yeah.
But for people that like ultralight fishing or just like uh species diversity, just like the multi-species game, if you don't live in a specific kind of like region of the United States, you're never going to catch a redfin pickerel. There's no redfin pickerel in Michigan. There are technically grass pickerel, which is a relative of the redfin, but very small quantities. And I've seen one in my life here. So, when I was in New York, I had no idea they were there. Like I had not checked the native range of a redfin, and I would just so happen to be like in this puddle. Like there was just like a little like swampy area, and there was like basically a small puddle, and there was a little bit of like it looked like it was a little deeper. So I'm like, yeah, I think I need to try fishing that. And I swore I had seen something in there earlier in the day when I walked by it. So I'm like, I better make a cast. Start getting nibbles, zip it back in there, catch this fish, and sure enough, it's a redfin. And I was so excited because I just genuinely had no expectation of that happening. Um, so check out, just Google redfin pickerel. They're just a really cool little. It's like if picture like the smallest version of a muskie or a pike. Like just like a very small esox, whatever species. And then the other species that I've found my way into is when I was on that same trip, I caught some
Bullhead.
what do you call bullhead, which isn't as probably exciting to me, but still really, really cool because I haven't done a lot of that in my life. And then the next species that I caught when I was in Florida, I did catch a couple new species for me. So the first one being a blue tilapia. Unfortunately, my lens was like
Yeah.
covered in water
I'm sorry, man.
because,
Like, wipe it off.
well, dude, it was like raining. I was soaked. It was Florida stuff.
It perfectly blurred out the fish. I was like, I'd love to see the fish.
I know. It was literally like hysterical. Like editing that, I'm like, literally, the fish is totally covered with a water spot on my lens. Either way, I caught it. So, like, I've done that. Now, maybe I got to document one on camera a little bit better in the future, but someday. And then I caught copper-nosed bluegill, which that's probably not super exciting to people that live down in the southeast where you have copper-nosed bluegill. But for me, as originally from Kansas and now a Michigan guy, I don't have copper nose bluegill. I've never had the experience to go out and catch those fish. And I just thought it would be neat to kind of add to my list, I guess I'll say. And so catching those, it's just really cool. Part of the reason I love sunfish is just, and I know I'm rambling here, but I'm excited. Part of the reason I love sunfish is just the appreciation of how much beauty those fish have and how much different they can look. And for me, it's cool that a bluegill, most parts of the country, they have like a kind of similar look, but then you get down there and there's this copper nose and it's darker and it's got these different hues, and the vertical barring can get really pronounced, and it's just a very neat looking fish. So I was stoked to get the chance to catch some of those. They weren't giant by any means, but doing some pond hopping in random residential slash like commercial areas in Orlando, I mean, I didn't necessarily expect to catch any giants, but I saw an alligator. I caught some copper nose, caught some blue tilapia. It was a cool time.
I didn't even know what a blue tilapia was. I've never caught any of those. I didn't know that
Ha!
they were in just ponds like
I've
that.
caught something you haven't. This is a first for me.
I'm jealous. No, whenever
You'll
you come, you need to come down and like if you ever come down like right before it gets cold, September, October, where we can still. I got a creek that we need to ultralight fish. It's one of the most diverse creeks I've ever fished around here. It's got all kinds of sunfish, like, and there's just thousands of them. It's so funny. It's like that's what I love about exploring different streams. One can be one way, one can be another. It's just got so many different sunfish. And then the river that I fished today for Alabama spots. Have you ever caught Alabama spots? The Alabama bass?
I mean, I've caught spotted bass. I've caught spotted bass when I was in Georgia.
Oh,
Caught
okay.
spotted. There was spotted
Yeah.
bass in Kansas. I don't know. I know that there's like some different types of like red eye bass and stuff like that, but I don't. I
No.
assume that the spots that I've
Well,
caught are same as yours. Yeah.
I mean, most up north, everything north is the Kentucky spots. Should be.
Oh, so maybe I've caught mostly Kentucky spots then. I don't know like what would be on. It was Lake Chatouche, Georgia. I don't know if
Okay,
that'd
well
be in
that's
Alabama.
probably Alabama's. Yeah, if you fish there.
Ah, I've caught Alabama spots then. Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
They've taken over those areas. But they just get a lot bigger. Um, you know,
Oh yeah.
around here. But
They're
yeah,
fun.
anyhow, we're gonna work it out. We're gonna do some more trips. But if you've been enjoying this kind of talk, this is what we do. Fishing for we never know what we're gonna talk about. Fishing for anything, catching whatever. I fished a river a couple weeks ago that has bowfin in it in Tennessee. It's one of the few in the eastern side of Tennessee. Maybe the only river in eastern that I know has bowfin. And of course, I didn't see any. But I want to go to West Tennessee and catch bowfin and pickerel. I think they
Nice.
had no. I don't think they have pike. I think there's pickerel, and I want to do that this year. I just don't know if I'll get to it. Maybe in the winter I want to go like Reelfoot Lake and do pan fishing. But that's like I'm on the east side of Tennessee. The west side of Tennessee is a 7-hour drive to get the other side of Tennessee, so it's a long way
Hmm.
over there.
It's kind
But
of a long, skinny state, isn't it?
yeah, so I go to Georgia, and I'm
You can get
20
north
minutes from
south
Georgia.
real quick.
Do what?
You can get north and south real quick in
Yeah,
Tennessee, but
yeah,
it's east west that you got to worry
yeah,
about.
yeah,
It's like a
yeah.
built like a pancake, dude. Sorry.
But anyhow, that's about all I got. So I'll be next episode. I'll be recapping a little bit ICAST and my tournament. Hopefully that I won, dominated,
Yeah.
and caught that 5-pounder. Will I catch a 5-pound smallmouth by then? So that's
Six
kind of my
pounder.
goals for this next coming months and stuff I can recap for next month. You think got any goals for this month?
Honestly,
July.
I wanna get the pedal drive rigged up on my new paddleboard, and I
Oh yeah.
wanna really be able to like get a feel for that and showcase that, and then be able to have a perspective on that next month. Um, as I do, obviously that wouldn't I want to catch some fish off of it. So like I mentioned, that northern Michigan lake, if I can find some diversity of species, but definitely a couple big smallmouth would be cool. So um we'll see what happens. We're going to check back in. You can hold us accountable, my friends. And if you ever have an idea for, as John was mentioning, we love multi-species fishing. We like talking about what has been biting in our area, as we did with the aggressively average anglers last month. I think we definitely would love some suggestions if you ever have them for potential guests, because I do think that we're going to enjoy having more guests in the future. I think that was a lot of fun, and I would say probably more often than not, it's just gonna be us two. But every now and again, I think we want to spice it up, add some
Mhm.
new, fresh perspectives. So
Right.
yeah, I think you can take us out of here, John. What do you got? Anything else? Closing comments, my friend.
Yeah. Be sure and go check us out on your podcast platforms. We should be on most of them by the time I get this done. I know we're on Spotify, and I started the Apple one. No, I started Amazon, and then there was Apple was something else. So I gotta go back and sign back in. But yeah. So you've been listening to the Whatever's Biting podcast, and hope you can get out there and catch whatever's biting.